So I've dedicated a lot of time learning how to be more productive. Ever since I was an undergrad at UCLA and beyond, and even as I tested out a bunch of different methods and strategies, there's always been one that stood out from the rest. And it's pretty much how I've been able to grow consistently every single year, and that is to set systems, not goals. I think James Clear said it best. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. He also says that winners and losers both have the same goals. Now, I don't think life is some savage zero-sum game, but I do think a lot of people have this thought that setting very specific, actionable goals, then achieving them over and over again is what it means to be productive. And this might work for some people in the short term, but the sad truth is constantly achieving new goals doesn't make anyone happier in the long term. And I know because for a long time, that's all I would try. At the end of the day, goals are there to help you plan your progress, but setting systems is what actually lets you make progress. So today I figured I'd talk about some of my systems and how you can create some of your own. By the way, I'm Chris, and earlier this year, I quit my job as a product manager at Microsoft with no backup plan. Even though it used to be my dream job, I realized I care more about carving my path outside the 9 to 5. And a huge part of the reason I was able to build up the courage to do this was because I had the right systems in place. So first, let's get on the same page for what a system is. A system is basically the process of how something gets done. So if someone's goal is that they want to get fit for an upcoming vacation, then the system would be their diet and workout schedule. Another way of thinking about it is goals are the path you decide to go on, and systems are how you move along that path. You can move really fast on that path, or slow, gradually, or sporadically, and that all depends on the quality of your system. Goals are still important since you need a destination, but ultimately, it's your system that decides whether or not you actually get there. And the funny part is, no matter how much you think about your goal, it won't actually get you any closer to it. But when you decide to think about doing and improving your process, that's where the real fun actually happens. It's a cliche, but life is really about the journey, not the destination. And honestly, that's something I struggled with for a really long time, since I've gone through so much of my life just focused on wanting the end result. And I used to think that if I wanted something bad enough, it would happen eventually. Maybe to some extent that's true, but it meant that I wasn't focusing on improving what would actually get me to that end goal. Just telling myself over and over again that I want that thing so badly really didn't help as much as I thought it would. So when I first learned about what it meant to create a system, it really clicked for me. Like, instead of saying, I want to be a product manager so bad, I'd tell myself, how many case questions should I be doing every single day? Or how many job apps should I send out every single week? And then I would do those things, test them, and if they worked, I would keep on doing it. Another system I have right now that's pretty simple is every Sunday, I just make it my chore day. I vacuum the house, do all the laundry, go grocery shopping with Nat. It's a really easy way to reset the week and also get all the tedious but important stuff done. And I know a lot of people might also have these dedicated chore days too. So the concept of setting systems shouldn't be new, and we've all probably done it to some degree. You can also apply it to your work or professional life. Like for my new business, my goal is to try and reach 10K in monthly recurring revenue. One system that would help with this is my sales and marketing process, like making sure I curate a set of memes every Monday for IG, or how often I do cold outreach to leads. How well you set up and execute your system basically determines how quickly and steadily you progress towards your goal. Because if you fix the inputs, the outputs will fix themselves. One last example of a system I have in my life is one that I actually talked about already, my morning routine. I talked about why a morning routine is so important and what mine was in a previous video, but it's basically a really easy way of chaining a lot of great habits together that you can easily do every morning. And over time, you can see how the effects add up. Okay, so I gave a few examples of what a system looks like in my life, but creating your own system is a very personal journey, and everyone's different. So what I'll do instead is give a set of rules that everyone can follow to build a quality system. The first rule is that your system should have a clear purpose. And if you know exactly what your system is supposed to achieve for you, you'll be able to work smarter and not harder. Sometimes you can do a lot of work, but then realize it didn't actually help you that much. And learning how to work smarter, not harder is definitely its own skill. A quote I really like is, "It's not the load that breaks you down, it's the way you carry it." It's good to make sure that if you're committing to a process, the output is actually directly helpful. The second rule to follow is to create a system that's repeatable. Basically, you want to have a process that you can do over and over again, because it's that consistent journey that'll get you to where you want to go. And it's also just great knowing that if you can build a process that you can sustain for a while, and working on it little by little will get you a lot farther than trying to do too much at once and burning out. And the last rule, and in my opinion, the most important one, is that you should make your system something fun to do. You know, something I realized is that a huge part of life is just working through a bunch of systems or processes that you create for yourself. And all of that basically adds up to your life's journey. So if you're not having fun with this whole process, then it's going to be a really painful time getting to where you want to go. And I'm not saying it's going to be 100% fun all the time, but a really good way to measure if you actually want something as much as you say you do is judging how much fun you're actually having when you're going through all those nitty-gritty details and solving all these different problems that come up. So build a system that you actually like, something that you can be proud of, and know that it's actually going through that process that makes life so interesting and fun. I'm not sure who said it, but something I hear often that really stuck with me is that this month's choices are next month's results, which means that we're always in a state of becoming. And I really love the idea of creating systems because eventually, if you do it right, the whole growth process of becoming the person you want to be basically goes on autopilot, and you end up creating all these great habits that are so awesome and helpful that getting to where you want to go ends up becoming a side effect of just being who you are. It took me a while to really understand all that, but once I did, it really made my life feel a bit easier and less like an emotional roller coaster. And I'm not saying I'm perfect now, but focusing on creating systems and the journey has definitely made my life a lot more enjoyable. And I hope it helps you too. So thanks for sticking till the end. Let me know in the comments what kinds of systems you have or want to create. I'm really curious. Appreciate y'all and see you soon.